Hello everyone, welcome back to Sujit Analytics. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain window functions. Before that, I would recommend you to watch the tutorial belongs to aggregate functions, which I explain the aggregate functions. So I recommend you to watch the video and come to this video. Let's jump into the today's topic, which is window functions. Let's understand the definition of window functions first. Window functions are functions which perform operations group of rows and return results for each row. Window functions are functions that perform operations on group of rows and returns results for each row. Unlike aggregate functions, which perform operations on a column and returns a single value, these window functions works on group of rows and returns results for each row. The word window means group of rows, means we are performing a functions on a group of rows. Here, window means of rows. Group. Under group, we are performing operations. So window functions, we perform group of operations on group of rows, and there are mainly three types of window functions in SQL. That is, first one is aggregate window functions, and ranking window functions, and value window functions. In this tutorial, I will explain the aggregate window functions. So, window functions is concerned, there is a specific syntax we have to follow when we are using window functions. First, the syntax like this. First, the window function name and overclass. The overclass we have two classes, which is partition by and order by. So this partition by defines the rows for the partitions, and this order by used to specify the orders in the partitions. So this is a window functions we are applying on these partitions on this group. So using overclass, we are performing operations on group of rows. We have to ensure when we are using a window function, we have to compulsory use the overclass. Overclass within the partition by and order by clause. So your partition by is not mandatory. Based on our requirement, we can use the partition by class, but order by we have to compulsory use. So this is a syntax for window function. Window function over class, within the over class we have to specify the window classes, which is partition by and order by. So means we are specifying over class. We are performing operations on group of rows. By using this over class, we are performing operations on group of rows instead of a single row. So what happens means when we use window functions, uh, we are performing operation on group of rows. Means each row does not lose its identity. That is about window functions. Let's understand what is aggregate window functions. Aggregate window functions are similar to aggregate functions, but these window functions works on group of rows, returns results for each row, unlike aggregate functions. Performs aggregations on group of rows, returns results for each row. This is the definition of aggregate window functions. The aggregation means the operations, the sum, maximum, minimum, average, count. The aggregate window functions are sum, count, maximum, minimum, and the average. These are the window functions we have in the aggregate window functions. Let's let's use each window function with the example using overclass and the partition by. Suppose mm, for this aggregate window functions, let's take customers and orders data. Select star from customers orders data. Execute it, and we'll be getting customers and orders data. So, but for these two tables, I want to use this window functions. Before that, I will join these two tables using join, using alias names, join orders O1 O dot customer ID equal to C dot customer ID. So these two tables are related based on the customer ID. That's why I'm joining based on customer ID. Now I'm able to see the customers and orders tables together. Now what I want is I want the total the sale amount in different cities. I want to find the total sale amount in different cities. For that, I'm using some function, some window function. Now I want to perform some operations on this all the rows. When we're using some window functions, we have to ensure we have to use overclass. So I want to get the sum for every. I want to divide these rows into partitions based on the city. I want to divide these groups into based on their cities. That's why I'm using partition by city. Now these rows are divided into partitions based on the city. The rows are divided, and on the city, I'm ordering based on their customer ID. So first, I'm performing some operation on this group of rows. On the group of rows, I'm dividing the partitions based on the city, and on the partitions, I'm ordering based on the customer ID. We have to take the alias name with the city. Okay, if I execute it, we have to use the sum function in a specific column. We want amount, sale amount. If I execute it, let's start from on this. I'm giving a alias name for this is total sale amount. Now we are able to see the rows are divided into partitions. Now Chicago, this one partition, this one partition, this is Los Angeles one partition, New York and Phoenix. So this overclass dividing the rows partitions. On the partitions, we are ordering based on the customer ID. So in Chicago, this is the Chicago records. We are ordering based on the customer ID. This is Boston, base ordering based on the customer ID. The same Los Angeles and the New York. So what we are doing is we are dividing the rows into partitions. I want to divide the rows into based on their city. So similar cities will get that together. And also it will start the based on the customer ID. On that customer ID, we are performing some operations, which is total sale amount. Now see, is the Chicago partitions. Means these are the records belongs to Chicago. On these rows, when you perform the sum of total sale amount, it returning the total sale amount is 1450 and 1450. Means for this customer, first row it returning 1450 and the second row also it returning 1450 because this is the total sale amount made in the Chicago. This is the total sale amount made in Chicago, not related to specific customer. It's not related to specific row. It is related to all the city, which is Chicago. In the same hostel. So it is 396. The Los Angeles is 30. So in this way, here when we use window functions, the individual rows does not lose its identity. Everyone get its identity. That's where the difference between the aggregate window functions and the aggregate functions will able to see. When we use aggregate functions, we are able to get only single value. But when we perform window functions, every individual or row will get a specific value. That is the power of window functions. This is the total sale amount made by each city. In the Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, these are the different partitions we have in the customers and orders table. Based on their cities, dividing into the partitions, and on that partitions, we are performing this some functions which is total sale amount. Here, this is the Chicago total sale amount, which is 999 plus 450, which is 1450. Here, for Houston, the total sale amount is 320 plus 775, which is 396. And here, 480 plus 150, which is 630. So this is how this sum function works. So let's use also the count functions in a similar way. Instead of writing the query again, I'm just changing the function. Instead of just using count. This giving the alias name as total customers. The same operation, but I'm using for this query, I'm using count operation. So it will count the number of rows. Count the number of rows in the each partition. So in the first partition, Chicago, it has two records, 1, 2. In the partition 2, which is Houston, again there are two records. In the Los Angeles, two records. New York, two records. But in Phoenix, only one record. This is how count function works. In the same way, I'm using average function, which is average window function. We have to use AVG. Instead of total sale amount, I'm giving average sale amount. So it will return the average sale amount in each partition or each city. Now we're able to see in the Chicago, the sale amount is on 999 and 450, and their average is 725. In the Houston, the average sale amount is 320 plus 75, and the average value is 198. So in this way, it performs the average. In the same way, the minimum value means it returns the minimum order amount or sale amount in each partition. So see in the Chicago records, we have two records. One person sale amount is 999 and that is 450. And the minimum amount in this location is 450. Now we are able to see 450 against the two records. In the same way, Houston, Minimum amount is 75. We're able to see 75, 75. In the Los Angeles, the minimum amount is 150, 150, 150. And the same. This is how minimum function works. In the same way, maximum. Instead of returning minimum, returns the maximum. That's the difference. Now, see, in the Chicago city, we have two sale amounts 999, 450. Now, so the total sale amount is 999.99, which is highest sale amount, means the maximum sale amount. In the Austin, the sale amount, highest sale amount is 320. In the Los Angeles, 480. In the New York, 250. In the Phoenix, there is only one record. The total highest sale amount would be 200. So this is how maximum functions work. So these are the aggregate window functions we have. I recommend you to write some queries using these window functions, change the functions using only one. You try to write only one query and change the function names, so you are able to understand easily. So this is about uh, aggregate window functions. In the next tutorial, I will be explaining the ranking window functions. So that's all. I hope you understand. If you believe you learned something today, don't forget to give a like and share it with your friends who are learning SQL. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Sujit Analytics, to stay updated with my latest tutorials. And that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.